Volcanoes are among the most powerful forces of nature. Their eruption can not only wipe out cities, but also disrupt the entire global climate. The unpredictability of volcanic eruptions makes them all the more terrifying. However, there are some signs that indicate an imminent eruption. When magma moves beneath the surface of the Earth, it creates pressure that causes the surrounding rocks to crack. This deformation can be measured using instruments such as GPS and satellite radar, which can detect even the smallest changes in elevation. An increase in ground deformation may indicate that the magma chamber is filling up and that an eruption could be imminent. This can cause the temperature of the area to rise. And an increase in temperature may indicate that the magma chamber is heating up and that an eruption is imminent. However, some hardy species have adapted to these conditions and can thrive in volcanic areas. If the vegetation in an area begins to die or change, it may indicate that the environment is becoming more hostile, possibly due to an impending eruption. They may be found on the surface of the volcano or on the surrounding hillsides. An increase in the number or size of steam vents may indicate that the magma chamber is heating up and that an eruption is imminent. For example, in the months leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the number of steam vents on the mountain increased dramatically. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, steam vents on the volcano emitted more steam and gases than usual. Some may only show a few signs, while others may show all of them. Thank you for watching. We hope you learned something new, and we'll see you in our next video. Additionally, the intensity of these signs may vary depending on the type of volcano and its activity level. Nevertheless, it is important to be aware of these signs, as they may indicate that a volcano is about to erupt and that people should take appropriate safety measures. For example, in the years leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the vegetation in the area died and turned gray. This incandescent light can be seen at night and is a clear indication that an eruption is imminent. For example, in the hours leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the volcano glowed red hot. This ash cloud may contain solid particles of rock and dust that can travel long distances and have a significant impact on the surrounding environment. The height and thickness of the ash cloud can indicate the intensity of the eruption. For example, after the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the ash cloud reached an altitude of 12 miles. Similarly, after the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the ash cloud rose more than 22 miles into the atmosphere. The presence of an ash cloud is a clear indication that a volcano has erupted and that people should take shelter immediately. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, incandescent light was seen coming from the volcano's summit. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the lush rainforest around the volcano began to wither and die. Lava is molten rock that flows out of the volcano during an eruption. It may be red or orange in color and move very quickly down the slopes of the volcano. In some cases, lava flows may be accompanied by pyroclastic flows, which are fast-moving currents of hot gas and solid debris. The appearance of lava flows is a clear indication that an eruption is in progress and that people should evacuate the area immediately. In particular, an increase in the temperature of shallow groundwater is a warning sign because it is in direct contact with the magma. For example, in the months leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the temperature of nearby creeks and springs rose by several degrees. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the temperature of shallow groundwater increased by as much as 100 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, before the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, the mountain had been growing by several feet. Similarly, in the years leading up to the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the volcano's summit began to bulge. These cracks can form on the surface of the volcano or on the surrounding hillsides. They may be wide enough to swallow large objects and are often accompanied by a hissing sound as steam and gases escape from the cracks. The formation of ground cracks may indicate that the magma chamber is heating up and that an eruption is imminent. For example, in the weeks leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, a series of cracks formed on the mountain's flank. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, ground cracks appeared on the volcano's summit and emitted steam and gases. This may cause minor earthquakes or tremors that can be detected by a seismograph. Scientists use these recordings to determine the location and depth of the magma chamber. Changes in earthquake patterns may indicate that the magma is rising or that an eruption is imminent. In particular, an increase in the frequency and intensity of earthquakes is a warning sign. Before the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, thousands of small earthquakes were recorded in the area. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, there was a noticeable increase in earthquake activity. So here are 10 sure signs that tell you a volcano is about to erupt. No. 1. Earthquake activity. Number 2. Ground deformation. As magma rises beneath the Earth's surface, it can cause the ground above it to bulge or uplift. No. 3. Increased gas emissions. Volcanoes emit various gases, including water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. The amount of gas emitted can vary depending on the type of volcano and its activity level. However, an increase in gas emissions may indicate that the magma chamber is heating up and that an eruption is imminent. In particular, an increase in the amount of sulfur dioxide gas is a warning sign, because it is released from the magma as it rises. For example, in the weeks leading up to the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, scientists observed a significant increase in sulfur dioxide emissions. Similarly, before the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the volcano emitted more than 10 times its usual amount of sulfur dioxide gas. Number 4. Rising temperatures. As magma rises beneath the Earth's surface, it can heat up the surrounding rocks and soil. No. 5. Changes in vegetation. The conditions around a volcano can be harsh, making it difficult for plants to grow. Number 6. Ground cracks. As magma rises beneath the Earth's surface, it can put pressure on the ground above it, causing it to crack. Number 7. Steam vents. Steam vents are openings in the Earth's surface that allow steam and gases to escape from the magma chamber. No. 8. Incandescent light. When magma reaches the Earth's surface, it may glow red or orange due to the high temperatures. No. 9. Lava flows. Of course, one of the most obvious signs that a volcano is about to erupt is the appearance of lava flows. Number 10. Ash cloud. When a volcano erupts, it may produce a cloud of ash that rises high into the atmosphere. It is important to note that not all volcanoes exhibit all of these signs before an eruption. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends and family.